back to Cosmic Kickback, the galaxy's favorite talk show. We're a movie podcast. We talk about other stuff as well. I'm your host, Josh. With me, as always, is my co-host.
Greetings.
Nick.
Hello.
Nick, welcome. Nick, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about HBO's The Last of Us.
You finally watched the show.
I mean, I finished it a while ago. We just haven't really
I'm not going to lie. I forgot. The show was good.
It happened in March, so like 3 months ago.
Okay, 3 months ago. Yeah, I mean, I forgot that you had watched this because I think I wanted to review this months ago when you were like, I'm still working on it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Bro, it's hard to watch because like the days that I work, I'll try to watch a show throughout the whole thing, but like it messes up the pacing.
Yeah, I see. I know a lot of people will start a show or a movie, and then they'll be like, oh, I gotta do something, and they'll like drop it like 15 minutes in, 30 minutes in, whatever, and then they'll come back. Dude, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like it's. I mean, you can have a different opinion, but to me, I just feel like it's disrespectful to the movie. I need to see it start to finish, no interruptions. You know, I feel like if I don't
that's
do
the way
that,
it was like intended. I understand.
Yeah, if I don't do that, then I feel like I'm missing something. Unless I only pause for like a minute to get like a drink, and I immediately come back, then I'm not pausing for more than 20 minutes. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nick finally unpaused and watched the movie.
The Last of Us
unpaused.
So let's talk about the show. This is based off of a 2013 game called The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And I never played the game. I never had a PlayStation until 2019 or 2020. Yeah, 2019.
Okay. Were you an Xbox kid?
I was. I actually really liked Xbox. And
we'll
I think
see what they did at the Halo show, bro.
Well, that's on Paramount, dude. I'm not paying for another fucking. I'm not watching this, bro.
Oh my god.
I was an Xbox kid. I think the 360 is still low key one of the best consoles ever. But this is made by Neil Druckmann, who created The Last of Us. I never played the game, like I said, but I've watched a YouTuber back in the day. His name was White Boy 7th Street. I don't know if you heard of him.
I have heard of that name.
He played through the whole game, and I kind of that's how I experienced it. So I know I know the whole game. I know all the intricacies and everything. I know how to craft a gun. You know, you just need a couple leather straps.
Yeah.
But
so I had a PlayStation.
You play the game?
That's the thing. I didn't. I see. This was made by Naughty Dog. Is the developers?
Yeah, they're probably one of like the better PlayStation exclusive studios.
They also made what's the series called? Uncharted.
Uncharted.
I played those.
Uncharted is dope.
I was on the Uncharted train. I remember when The Last of Us came out. I was like, we'll see maybe. And I meant to get to it, and I actually did buy on PlayStation 4. So that came out like in 2014, so like a year after The Last of Us came out. Eventually, they released a remaster of it, so it's just updated visuals. And I played the beginning of that. I didn't get too deep into it. I got like maybe 2.5 to 3 hours in, so I didn't get that far in the game. But I have an idea of the gameplay. I played through the intro. I did watch someone play it back in the day, like you said, also like on YouTube. But I don't think I finished the story, so I actually did not know how the story ended. Oh. I knew up about like I guess to like maybe halfway through the story
when they get to like that camp.
Yeah,
with his brother.
Yeah, exactly. I knew about that much, but everything else I didn't know. So to me, this is kind of like a mix of like the first half I knew it was coming, and then after that I was like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? So I feel like I got like the best of both worlds.
Okay, well that's pretty cool then.
Hey, I already know.
I'm glad for you.
Hey, you know.
So I didn't know this, but one of the, I guess, producers or like one of the creators of HBO's Chernobyl, that show.
Oh, really?
He came on to help with this show as well.
Yeah, that's a good show.
So that show is really good, so it can speak to its quality. And I will say, like, off the bat, this show is like, I think it's really good. For anyone that hasn't played the game, like, I think it definitely gives off like Walking Dead post-apocalyptic vibes. And I just like how, I guess, more bold the story was, because it's pretty good with like killing off people and shit. Like they don't give a fuck. And I like that because I'm like, damn, these people could honestly die at any time.
What I like about the show is I wouldn't really know for like the later half episodes, but the beginning, I like how they make changes where they can do something better, but they don't change it if it's like already good. Because a lot of people were scared that they were going to change too much or something. They do change some stuff, some aspects of the show, but I feel like they never change it to its fault.
Yeah.
It's only like ever.
It just feels like it works better like in a narrative structure. Like,
yeah, exactly.
For like a TV show rather than a game where you choose to
I
do
agree.
shit.
Like, for example, The Last of Us, the game, when you play it, you open up playing as Joel's daughter.
Yeah.
And like, it's just like the middle of the night and you're like, oh, what's happening? And then all hell breaks loose and you see all this shit happen and it leads up into the point where she gets inadvertently shot, or I guess not inadvertently, she gets shot. They were trying to kill them both. And in the intro, we pretty much see a whole episode of like, you know, she goes to school. We see her relationship with Joel.
Yeah, and the next door neighbor who's like an elderly couple. Yeah. And I think the show, even before that, it starts with like an interview.
Cold open.
Yeah, from like I think it's from the 60s.
Yeah.
They're talking about cordyceps and like the dangers of like fungi and how they can like grow and like affect people.
One thing I will say is...
And then it opens up in 2003.
Yeah.
So that means it takes place, the show, the year that it is, which is pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. So they do alter that stuff just to make it watchable for like right now. I mean, whatever.
I mean, bro, cool. That shit could happen right now.
What I was going to say is you reminded me of the cold opens. The cold opens I really like because those aren't in the game.
Yeah.
I really liked, there's like 2 of them, I think, 2 or 3 in the first 2-3 episodes. I actually wish that they continued them. I don't know what else they could have done if they could have interwoven like the cold open stories, because there's one where there's the interview. And then another one is where they bring in someone to like look at the body and like inspect it.
Yeah, the body inspector.
Yeah. And I thought they were very like a way to like differentiate the show and also like give some more context to the show. And I don't know, I just really love the way they were done. I wish that we got more of that, but I understand why we didn't. Like, but
that was like that was like pre-cordyceps, and you were seeing like what was building up to it. And it was so good, especially the one where they're like interviewing the body, because they're like some woman came and like bit this person's leg, right? And they were like, "Can you look at the bite or something?" Mm. That was really cool.
I really liked them. Yeah, like I'm so glad you actually just brought that up. I would have forgotten about it.
No, that is a good take.
I wish there was more. Yeah, that's probably I don't know if they could have done more, but from my perspective, it would have been cool
to see more of that.
I want more of that.
Because definitely this show, we got plenty of like Joel and Ellie.
Oh yeah.
Joel's played by Pedro Pascal.
Mm-hmm.
This is his probably like 4th or 5th role playing a daddy. You know, he's just taking care of some kid.
Huh?
And then Bella Ramsey from Game of Thrones is in this.
Ellie?
A lot of people were shitting on her for...
Dude, I've never seen so much hate. Well, I'm sure I have at some point.
Bro, for Joffrey?
Well,
more hate on Joffrey.
But see, what I'm saying about with Joffrey, though...
He played the shit out of it.
He did really well, and they hated the character because he did so well. With this, Bella Ramsey was getting hated on for like fucked up reasons. Like they were just like, dude, it's fucking weird. Think about it. Ellie in the first game is like a 13, 14-year-old girl, and they're like, she ain't hot enough, brother. I'm like, what the fuck? Put this man on a watch list, bro. I saw that shit online. I saw people like, oh, bro, why we getting Bella? Like she ain't bad. And I was like, dude, what the fuck is happening?
That's just 2023, bro.
I swear on everything, on TikTok, on everything, every comment I saw. They were saying fucked up shit, like stuff I don't even want to say on the cast about her looks, and I was just like, dude, how the fuck are people openly like it was just like mind-boggling to me that that's what they were worried about, given that she's playing a child on the show.
Yeah,
like what? No, it was insane. I can't believe people actually put that opinion out on the public internet.
Bro, what is it called? Digital footprint.
That's what I'm saying.
They're gonna get hired, and they're gonna be like, you want to talk about 23?
Dude, oh man.
You're Bella
Ramsey
Ramsey comments.
It's insane. But
besides
I think she does a great job in this.
Dude, she might have even done the game character better than in live action. Because like there's some sequences, especially the one where she's going with her Firefly friend in the mall, where they both we're talking about spoilers, right? I can speak on
this is non-spoiler. This is about for months. If you haven't seen it, it's on Max.
This is when Ellie finds out she gets bit the first time, and so does her friend, and they're kind of just like sitting there like, fuck, like we're doomed. And she lets out like a scream, and like it's like really good. Like I think that her acting definitely carries, and I could tell like when she was showing emotion. Another time I think is when she's at that cannibal camp and they're gonna eat her.
Not even just the eating. Before that, I swear the dude was like trying to hit.
It was giving me
fucking.
I didn't like that,
vibe.
bro. I didn't like that.
Anytime it was done so well, because like you can like. This guy just
the way he was like talking to her, bro.
Yeah. Oh man.
Jeez.
It was like, oh dude,
that get him out of here.
That's what I'm saying. Like she's really good in that episode, because like I completely believe the way she reacts to all that. Like
Yeah.
The acting in that episode with just her and then that creep dude. Actually, in that episode, the guy that when they have her on the table after she like bites the guy's finger, there's the pedo guy, and then one of his like helpers comes in, and she shoots the helper and runs off. I think he was actually the guy that played Joel in the game.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
They had a little cameo.
Yeah, and they also had the actual actor that played Ellie, like in the game and did the voice, is her mom.
Her mom. That's right.
Show.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's a lot of little cameos and stuff like that from characters from the game.
I like that.
I do too.
I like that.
It goes hard all day.
I was talking about Ellie. Oh, I feel like she was also really funny in this because
yeah,
you know, the whole thing is kind of that she was a kid that grew up like in the apocalypse. So like there'll be funny things where Joel's like walking by like a crashed plane and Ellie's like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Oh, like people used to like fly in the air with it."
She's like, "Ain't no way."
Yeah, and she like imagine just being a kid and like never seeing that your whole life.
That would
kind
be
of like being
weird.
sheltered. I'd be like really? Like that could be in the air?
Oh yeah, when she gets in the car, it's her first time in a car.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh shit, like this is so cool."
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool as well.
Oh man.
But she's walking around with like this little joke book, and like occasionally through the episode she'll read them to like get Joel to laugh and stuff. And you know, at first she's kind of like shut up. But he eventually opens up and kind of I don't know, you can tell he's really like just sheltering himself from like caring about her because he lost his daughter in like the first episode. But we see the relationship blossom all the way pretty much to the end.
Yeah, I think it was done really well. I was worried because like with the game, I don't know how long it takes you to play the game. It's probably like a 15 hours to 20 hours. Maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say 40.
If you're speed running it, maybe you can get it lower. But like me, I like to like explore everything.
I like to do everything.
Yeah, I like to explore. I like to find little
every
collectibles.
side mission done.
Yeah, I like doing everything because I feel like if I miss something, I'm like I paid for something.
You gotta 100% it.
Oh yeah, I do.
To 100% the game.
I agree.
I want the platinum.
Yep. But I was gonna say this only had 8 episodes, 10 episodes?
It was very short. Yeah, it was less than 10.
Yeah. Okay. So I was worried because each episode's about an hour.
Yeah, 45.
It is. That's a lot of time. It's longer than a movie, obviously, and so there's more time for character development. But even with that 8 episodes or whatever it was, I was worried that it wouldn't be able to naturally like. I wouldn't feel like I could believe that they went from like how they are in the first 2 episodes, how they like are very bitter toward each other to like that. But I feel like it does it really well, especially like when you get to the camp and you have the scene where he's just like, "Oh no, like I think it'd be better if you went with my brother," and like all that, and then like he comes back for her. I feel like all that was done really well, especially the next episode where she's trying to care for him, which is the one where she gets captured.
Yeah, I
actually really like. I don't know if it's different in the game because I never played this part and I don't remember it, but like if it is different, then I think this is a good change. I like how Ellie is able to like save herself and get out of that situation from the like pedo guy and the cannibals.
Yeah.
I like how, because Pedro Pascal's character Joel, he's trying to get to her and he's like around there, but he's running around. He's like, he doesn't save her is what I'm saying. Like she gets out of there and she's like really shook and he's like there like to like comfort her afterwards, but she's the one that got herself out of the situation. She saved herself.
Yeah.
And I don't know if in the game if that happens or not. I can't remember. But because I imagine like playing as Joel in the game, if you saved her like that seems like that's what they would do.
I think in the game you change perspectives
because at that
point
that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. I didn't get that far.
Yeah, because at a certain point in the game, and I'm just gonna like talk spoilers.
As you should.
At a certain point in the game, Joel he falls off a building and he straight up lands and he gets impaled. I'm pretty sure it's the same in the show. He gets like impaled like right in his stomach or something.
I think he gets shot. He gets stabbed.
Yeah, he gets stabbed.
Or shot by an arrow or something by those people.
Yeah, they get like
and they
some
ride
marauders.
off on the horse, and then he's like.
Yeah, but pretty much Joel's like incapacitated and he's sick. So like you switch perspectives.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know.
Yeah, and it's cool because in the game, like when I was watching it, it looks like Joel dies, and it literally just cuts to black, and then like it's just like a couple weeks later, and you're Ellie. But then he's still alive, and you have to try to like revive him. Like she goes out to get medicine.
That's cool. So yeah, it is similar then.
Yeah, it is pretty similar. Dude, it was cool though because in that mission, like you literally had a bow and arrow. It's pretty cool. I wish they kind of gave her something like that instead of a rifle.
Speaking of this, I talked about how the original came out on PS3.
Yeah.
Then they made a remaster on the PS. That's crazy. Yeah, it's been like 10 years. It's been 10 years this year.
Yeah, it has been 10 years.
So and then they made a remaster on the PS4, and remasters. All it really is, it's the same like base level like thing. They just update the visuals, the graphics
to run better on the new system.
Yeah. They actually recently, I think last year, they came out because like 2 years ago they came out with part 2
Yeah.
on the PS5. I think I think it was on the PS4, but I think
It
it's
came out in like 2020, I think, part 2.
and so I think it's on the it has a PS5 upgrade now.
Yeah.
Which is a part 2, which I know nothing about part 2. I've managed to get nothing spoiled.
I actually do.
Oh shit!
I mean, I don't want to talk about it if you haven't played the game. I guess we'll
I
just
haven't
wait.
played it. I want to play it now though.
Well, there's a big change that people are so controversial now
like
about.
a change to the story, like in the show. Hello?
People are just worried about season 2 because like there's a big controversy around part 2 of the game.
I heard. I do remember people were hating on
like a certain character
something.
departs, and they're just like, man, that was like so dumb. And there's also another character that they feel they're like forced to like. It's a whole thing. I don't know. Just play. We'd have to play
I'll
the
play
game.
the game, then we'll come back before season 2, and we'll
You better live stream.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to see the reaction,
dude. Because what I was gonna say is, so that game came out like not too long ago.
Yeah.
And last year they released because it was called The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
And last year on PS5 they released The Last of Us Part 1, which is the same. It's the same first game, except it's not just a remaster; it's a remake. So it's remade from the ground up with like for the PS5. So it has like the exact same crazy, because remastered it's just a visual thing.
Yeah.
When you fully remake a game, it's like you're changing everything. It's like it's like making a whole new game.
That's crazy.
So although it's telling the same story, it's using what I assume. I doubt they came in for more dialogue. It's using the same dialogue and stuff like that, the same motion capture. But besides that, everything else is new. So it's like
UI, menu.
Exactly. So since I only played half of the
I might cop the remastered.
That's what I'm saying. It was on sale recently. I hope it's still on sale, because I was like, oh shit, like I'll have to play that. But yeah, it's a remaster. Or not remaster. It's a complete remake. It's called The Last of Us Part 1 on PS5. If it's not on sale, the price is kind of crazy, so I'm kind of waiting for it to go on sale.
The Last of Us.
But yeah, anyway, that's coming. That came out, so I'm thinking.
So it's called Part 1.
It's called Part 1. Yeah,
Ooh.
It's not just the remaster. It's a completely like new like thing. So I'm excited for that.
That's pretty cool.
Anyway, I want to play that so then I can see how, after watching the show and playing like years ago the first half of the game, I want to like do it again.
It's gonna be even crazier.
Yeah. What'd you think of? I think it's episode 3 when we're introduced to.
Dude, that's probably that shit made me cry.
That's
that
what
was
I'm
probably
saying.
the best episode of the entire show, maybe with like the finale, but they changed that in the game.
That one's like an entire the biggest
Yeah.
change, I think.
Because like when they first meet Bill, he's living by himself and he had a dead husband. But in this one, we meet Bill like years before, like right when the apocalypse starts. He pretty much raids like a Home Depot. I like that whole sequence where he just goes out and it's just like buying shit.
Everyone else is like, oh fuck, and they like evacuate, and he's just like, I've been
going
waiting
to
for
Home
this.
Depot.
He's like, I've been ready for this.
Yeah, then he builds it. I think, does he already have a fence built, or he builds it around
He builds
him?
the whole thing.
Yeah, then he has like a garden. He pretty much is set for the apocalypse.
He is.
Yeah, and then he meets like this stranger that comes by. He lets him in and takes care of him. They both gay. They fuck. And then they end up just getting old and dying. And then Bill and Ellie come years later, and they're just like, damn, like I guess his husband died and he took his life. And it's kind of just completely its own thing.
Yeah, dude,
and it's crazy.
It's like one of those things where it's like they didn't have to do this, but they like wanted to go hard.
Yeah,
and like they did. Like it's made extremely well, and they managed to tell like an entire story in one episode. It's just, oh my god, it went hard, bro.
Yeah, it was crazy, especially that dinner table scene where he's like he takes the pills and like he like drugs his husband, and they just, dude.
God, it's it's really good.
It's a really good episode, and I think that. So this is an example. I guess I can talk about this without spoiling like part 2 for you. This is a part where they can kind of just recontextualize like what like season 2 could be, and just do something totally different, because. Like, I feel like the fan base is split between part 2.
Okay, well,
a lot of people are mad about it.
Okay, yeah, so
I think with season 2, if they just like kind of do their own thing while still having some parts of the game, like maybe it could work. But I know Neil Druckmann is like, I don't know, he's kind of like he's the final say, and he'll just do what he wants.
Does season 1 of this does it end the way the first game ends, like the exact same?
Yeah, it pretty much ends like with her like. Him going into the hospital, fucking going crazy.
In the game, and that is the same thing. He doesn't tell her like that. He just was like, oh no, like he didn't give her the choice. He kept it from her.
Yeah.
So that's how the game is too.
Yeah. So I'll say this going into part 2. Like he never told Ellie like that he lied to her, and also like him going into the hospital and killing people is very it's a very important point in part 2.
I mean, I'm sure that Ellie, if she found out about it in part 2, be pissed.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for season 2, honestly, because I want to see what they're gonna do. If they do honestly the same as part 2 of the game, it'll be cool because I've seen how part 2 ends as well, and I think it's still pretty good.
I have
it's maybe a little sad, but
what I've heard, I heard this months ago, and I just have retained the information. It might be the guy you were talking about, Neil Druckmann. It might have been him. It might have been another showrunner. But they said that when asked about doing season 2 and continuing part 2 of the show or the game, in television, they said that they don't have to fit that story into just one season if need be. So they basically alluded to the idea that
multiple seasons will be coming.
They could maybe, because I don't know how long part 2 is. I don't know how much is in there.
It's a lot of years. Like Ellie's 19 when it starts, and it just kind of takes place over like the span of a couple years. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it.
Well, I don't know anything about it, so you're the only one that could say. I mean, my bad, Nick. But I mean, what I'm saying is the guy said that if they need to, they're not going to just restrict themselves to one season to tell that story.
Well,
they said if they feel they need to do 3 seasons or however many they need for part 2 or to continue that or to translate it the way they did the first, they said they'll use more seasons if they need.
I like that. I like that they're not limiting the creativity.
Yeah,
and honestly, it'd be kind of crazy if I guess the creator of the game is more focused on this show. If they finish out part 3 of I guess the show and it's its own story, and then they make the game. That'd be kind of crazy. Hey, Pedro Pascalski.
Hey, we'll see. But no, yeah, I think overall, I think this show is. I think it's since House of the Dragon, this has probably been the best television show dropped, and they both were Max, bro.
HBO for sure, bro.
Yeah, HBO's hitting. I know they also dropped Love and Death a month ago. Which
I've been wanting to watch that.
I watched the first episode, and I haven't. Yeah. I've been meaning to watch the rest, but I've just been busy. I just remodeled my entire room. That's why the electricity was messed up.
Oh, you had to move shit around?
We changed all the outlets and all this stuff.
That makes sense.
I painted all the walls and I moving everything around. So I've been busy, but I do want to watch that. Because I watched the first episode and I thought it was really good. Elizabeth Olsen's really good. Dude. Jesse Plemons is really good.
What'd you do if Elizabeth Olsen has to have an affair?
Oh man, bro. See, you can't ask me that.
You folded?
You can't ask me that when I'm in a relationship, bro.
No, I'm just playing. No, but apparently the show is based off of a real event, and I'm actually
yeah, it is.
I'm really have been into true crime, so I'd love to see a dramatization of it.
It happened in Texas too.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Hey, I mean, I don't know anything about it.
It was your next door neighbor, Nick.
Hey, it happened right here. Yeah, so we might review Love and Death next. Honestly, I'd be down to start watching that. I think the show, it's probably ended up, and
it has ended. You can binge it now.
What I like about HBO is they do the weekly releases. Mm-hmm. So I mean, if we released the review on time, we would have. It would have been there with the finale. But it also stretches out. Excuse me, the hype of the show and stuff.
Yeah, I think Netflix drops all their shit at once, which is good for watchers, but
Netflix is dumb, bro.
It's not good for the show's longevity and getting hype around it.
Agreed.
Yep. Speaking of shows that have dropped on Netflix, they just dropped season 6 of Black Mirror.
Oh yeah.
We could watch that. Talk about that at some point.
I mean, all I know is I saw IGN gave it a 6, but yeah. I feel like IGN.
I heard because with you've seen Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Each episode is its own thing. So how do you rate a whole season if each thing is its own thing?
I agree. I kind of just like to see what it's about and see the performances. That's what mostly draws me to them is the people that are in the episodes.
Yeah. Well, I've seen because for example, I haven't seen every Black Mirror episode, including the new season. Season 5, I've only seen 1 of the 6 episodes.
You've seen season 1?
I have seen all of.
You've seen Striking Vipers?
That was the first episode in season 5 that I watched.
Have you seen that meme? Apple announced a VR headset, and someone was me and my bro.
Dude, hey, that's facts though.
Dude, what the fuck?
Dude, nah, bro. Don't even act like that ain't us.
Dude, we're we're getting to that point, bro. Society. What is it gonna be in 5 years, bro?
Where do you draw the line?
OnlyFans on Apple. I don't even want to think about it.
Hey, just wait.
Black Mirror is literally happening.
When I watched that Apple thing, I'm not gonna lie, I was dude, this is Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Have
you seen what is it called? That fucking movie, dude. Ready Player One, when he puts on like the
I have
Oasis
seen it,
thing.
yeah.
That movie's actually really cool.
The visuals are insane. That's Spielberg.
Yeah, that is also
Yep.
Spielberg, dude. He
My
done
favorite
this.
part of that show or that movie was when they went to the Shining place.
Yeah,
I was
dude.
like, damn, what the hell,
Dude, there's so much good shit in that movie.
You know, I it's not my favorite movie, but there's like a ton of Easter eggs from like
Yeah,
all of pop culture,
Bro,
movies,
Goonies, The Iron
books.
Giant.
Oh man,
Indiana.
As a kid, I loved the Iron Giant.
Yeah,
I gave it some shit when it first came out, and I watched it because I was a little disappointed in it.
yeah, me too.
Besides like all the visuals, but like as a movie, it's really fun. It's
Yeah.
like it's still like a spectacle of cinema
Yeah,
and
agreed.
filmmaking. So
Definitely a good summer movie.
yeah. I'm gonna have to put it on again. Anyway,
Word.
I think
I think that's it for The Last of Us.
yeah. What would you rate it?
If I were to rate it, I'd probably give it like a 8 out of 10. Honestly,
Okay,
I
okay.
kind of wish there was like maybe one more episode because
Mhm.
we followed Ellie and Joel like for most of it, but then we'd get those episodes where it's just like other characters, like at like episode 3, and then I think around 7 we follow that guy and his younger brother till we meet Joel and Ellie.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part it was definitely really good. I hope we get something on season 2 soon because I'm
Mhm.
sure the creator is going to be like working on it to get it out by, I don't know, 25 because you know Bella Ramsey's getting old. I mean, she's 19, and she's still.
She pushing 20, bro.
She-
She old as hell.
I didn't mean it like that, but I meant older because she's 19 and she still looks very young. Like she
Yeah.
looks like a 13-year-old. No offense, but she plays the role well. I'm sure they could just work with it. But
yeah.
hope to hear
Yeah.
season 2 soon.
Hey, I hope they take a while because that gives me time to play the game.
Yeah, I know.
But
Dude,
we'll
let
see.
me play.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you.
They should just
Anyway,
make the game free, bro, for anyone that
Ooh.
watched the show.
I'm gonna
Come
give
on.
the movie or the show. I'm gonna give it an 8.5, slightly above you,
Oh, okay.
because I think it's not a 9 for me. Because I agree there are some episodes that I feel like are a little slower than others and like are kind of like they feel. I hate to say this because like I hate when people use this as a term, but they do feel like filler. Like I
Yeah.
know that they're not because it's as a whole thing. If you were to watch this start to finish, like one big movie, it would all be perfect characterization. It would all work. But that's
Totally.
why it's done in episodes. And so certain episodes are going to be like, you know, the part that's just not as interesting as the other stuff because it's getting you to that point.
Totally.
So, but I do agree that there are some episodes that are definitely better than others. I do wish there was maybe like one more, but that's kind of like, that's like a backhanded compliment because it means
Yeah.
I want to see more.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, there we go, Nick.
All right, so that is our review of The Last of Us.
You already know.
If you guys are excited for season 2, you know, let us know what you think in the comments, what they're gonna do. If you play the games, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we got time to play the games. You know, maybe
Yeah, we'll
maybe
see.
Josh will stream them.
Yeah, check out the description below. I'll have the Twitch link in bio.
Twitch, Twitch link in bio.
Twitch in the description, along with our other socials for Cosmic Kickback.
Follow us on Letterboxd.
Yeah, everything's down there. Thank you guys for watching or listening. We'll see you guys in the next episode.